Hello and welcome to your daily word on this special Tuesday. Today, my topic is in twofold, and we are reading Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 1 to 9. It's a slightly lengthy portion, as I said yesterday, because I'm trying to finish the whole book of Nehemiah, especially chapter 12 and 13, by the end of this week, so that we can start reflecting on what I call life verses. So Nehemiah 13 verse 1 to 9, I read in the New King James Version. The Bible says, "On that day, they read from the book of Moses in the hearing of the people. And in it was found written that no Ammonite or Moabite should ever come into the assembly of God, because they had not met the children of Israel with bread and water, but hired Balaam against them to curse them. However, our God turned the curse into blessing." May that always be your portion. "So it was when they had heard the law, that they separated all the mixed multitude from Israel." Many years ago, my friends, I heard a simple song that says, "Let us go back to church. Let us go back to church. Jesus is coming again. Let us go back to church." One thing I have noticed in this portion of Nehemiah is that they always look into the law of Moses before they do anything. That means decisions were made purely because of their understanding of what the law of Moses commands. Some Ammonites and Moabites had joined themselves to the people of God and were assembling with them. But when the law was read to them, they realized their mistakes and separated themselves from the mixed multitude. Remember, the act of these people is based on law and not grace. And so they were right to separate themselves. Now we come to the next portion from verse 4 of Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 4 to 9. The Bible says, "Now before this, before they separated themselves from the people and the law was read, Eliashib the priest, having authority over the storehouse or over the storerooms of the house of our God, was allied with Tobiah, and he had prepared for him a large room where previously they had stored the grain offerings, the frankincense, the articles, the tithes of grain, the new wine and oil, which were commanded to be given to the Levites and singers and gatekeepers, and the offerings for the priests. But during all these, I," Nehemiah said, "I was not in Jerusalem, for in the 32nd year of Artaxerxes, king of Babylon, I had returned to the king. Then after certain days, I obtained leave from the king, and I came to Jerusalem and discovered the evil that Eliashib had done for Tobiah in preparing a room for him in the courts of the house of God, and it grieved me bitterly. Therefore, I threw out all the household's goods of Tobiah out of the room. Then I commanded them to cleanse the rooms, and I brought back into them the articles of the house of God with the grain offerings and the frankincense." Wow. Nehemiah went back to Artaxerxes, king of Babylon, as he promised in Nehemiah chapter 2 verse 6. While Nehemiah was away, Eliashib the priest prepared one of the storerooms in the courts of the house of God for Tobiah, because they were allies. Forget about what the law says about the Ammonite, because Tobiah was an Ammonite. Says, forget about what the Lord says about the Ammonites and Moabites. Forget about what Tobiah and Sanballat did to the people of God when they were building the wall. Eliashib has put friendship over obedience to God. He has given room to an enemy of God's people in the house of God. Interesting. That reminds me of when I visited Bulgaria last year. We visited the citadel, which was built on a high hill to make it impossible for enemies to attack. But when the Ottoman Empire invaded that area, they entered the citadel without difficulty because somebody inside the citadel let them in through a back gate. You see, Nehemiah did the right thing. He threw Tobiah's stuff out and cleansed the storeroom. Friends, let us watch out for the Eliaships in our lives. Those who are friends with us but have alliances with our enemies, because they always have a back door that they can open to let in our enemies. May you seal upon these words, and may the Lord bless you and have a great day.